Hi everyone. In this week's video, I'm going to talk about crossing the Canadian border from the US to Canada. And the reason that I'm going to talk about this is because it was an amazing thing for me. I did release a story recently about a road trip that I went through in the US, so please search for that if you want to read the full story. But it was absolutely amazing for me to walk from one country into another. And I'd only done it just a few months before, which I'll make another video about, walking into Mexico. But growing up in South Africa, where they have borders, we have borders to the north, but based on the history and based on what was going on in African countries throughout my childhood, walking from one country into another was completely out of the question. In fact, for a lot of my childhood, the borders were defended fiercely and you could get into some serious trouble trying to cross the borders on foot. So being able to just walk across a bridge from one country into another was just amazing to me, and I really wanted to experience it. So when a friend and I went on a road trip, she drove her truck through the border because we were staying in Toronto for a few days, and she went through that experience, and I decided to walk between the US and Canada at Niagara Falls. And I walked across, I walked through these turnstiles that only went one way and most definitely didn't allow you to come back into the US. And I walked across the bridge. The beautiful Niagara Falls was crashing, and I had a look at that. And halfway across the bridge, there was a little plaque with a line down the center that showed the US to the left and Canada to the right. And I crossed the bridge, and at the end of the bridge was a passport office. And I went in, and there was a woman sitting there, and I was the only person. And she asked me a few questions, your standard questions. How long are you going to be in Canada? Where are you going? Where are you staying? Why are you here? And I answered them. And she stamped my passport and nodded to the exit door, and I walked into a new country. And it was just a great experience, and it was just unique for me, and one of the immigrant stories that I remember fondly. And my friend who was driving got cross-questioned and pulled over, and her truck was searched, and she got so many questions, and I sort of breezed through, and it was a lot of fun, and I hope that many of you get the chance to do the same thing. And I'll see you all again next week.